Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crusader Kings 3 Nubia series here on the Lord Master channel, in which we've expanded our realm once again, not by conquest, but through buying a claim and petitioning to a king, which I also used a hook on him to change my contract a bit, which is the reason why I have this and the domain limit increased, which is due to entitlement rights granted. So, domain limit +1. Castle holding construction cost is cheaper if I were to build more of these. Granted 10% tax exceptions. Then the vassal have the right to establish new settlements, expand their domains, and construct new fortifications entitled lesser nobles with the support of their liege. And the vassal more easily accepts calls for defensive wars. Yes, sir. There we have Abu Hamad, in which are currently planting crop fields there. But this is the home of the gold mine, one of the few gold mines of the Nubia region, in which does give you an increased quality of smelted artisan, weapon, armor, and metalsmith inspirations. In the case of metalsmith, I got a new crown. My first one. Rita's crown. So yes, the crown fitting for the Marquess, as the men-at-arms maintenance is reduced. Now, I mentioned the word Marquess because that's what I am. We are the March of Nobadia, no longer a duchy, but a March. Because it makes sense that this would be a military frontier and being bordered with places like Egypt, and then, getting close towards the area where the Lemians live with their old gods. But for now, my priority is to get a hook on people who are inspired. As she wants to write about medicine, I would like to have that. And in addition, I'm befriending this man, who is the guest of a king. Why this man in particular? Look what he's got. A trinket that gives a small health boost. Just picturing the stalking Argus up and up, it appears to have mysterious ornament of small brilliant gemstones native to Kenya. I want that. I mean, rather than try to steal it, but I think you're just better off befriend this man, make it easier to invite the man to court. And soon I will invest in expanding our military, increase the size of our Nile archers as well as our Sahel horsemen. But the R1 cavalry is still very expensive to maintain when you bring in the bear. That would be for future eras, whenever we reduce our men-at-arms maintenance much further. And in the meantime, for the foreseeable future, in the next 3 years or so, I will pick up this perk where I'll have more success chance in performing these hostile schemes, such as fabricating for hooks. And I'll switch over to diplomacy a bit, and then actually get these two, especially groomed to rule. Because there's this youngest child of mine, Tapara, who is intelligent. Out of all of my children, he is the intelligent one. And against my better judgment, I decided to make him go for a martial education instead of diplomacy or learning, as he already has reckless. I mean, yes, it may go against what he is truly, but still, it's something that should be noted. Strong hook for loyalty. Can I make him study the Arabic language, as this is a very useful language in these parts, if you feel like you're traveling up to the north with me again. So I'm giving this child a lot of education and all that. And another thing that I would like to do is to... I mean, that's something I want to do for my son. I want to be around as long as possible without having to switch to medicine focus. So I would like to get a tattoo. So I'll spend little on that. It is custom among the Nubian cults to receive small tattoos in the shape of important religious symbols such as the cross to protect ourselves from ill fortune and harm. Today I'm visiting a nearby local church to receive one such tattoo. After discussing with the tourist about the details of this tattoo, I'm more than ready to begin. May this tattoo protect me well. For the next 10 years I get a small health boost out of this. So that will help me out just a little bit for starters. It's not until next year we do this again. But in 2 years I want this. Because I want to have increased holding taxes for the next 10 years before I pass. Unless you want something that gives you a big boost of development. Just keep looking. It's importing cattle that gives you the most development. But you're doing this for Abu Hamad design. Increasing the heck out of this development. So, let's get ticking along then. I am investing. Especially the development there. So that way we can get the gold mine to get me a lot of money for this. Plus, innovations-wise, we're getting closer to getting barracks, which will happen in this episode. And this too. Military buildings and fortification buildings are going to be a go. Even though I sometimes wish that the king would go for this. During my afternoon stroll down the streets of Firen, my daughter, Dina, runs up to me. Father, they just started swinging at one another when she's unearthed by a high-pitched squeak, turning our attention to a fight down the street. The combatants appeared to be a couple of young lads from my court, slugging at each other in preparation for another tussle. Well, listen, you might be good at this sort of thing, so I'll say, help them mediate. I want you to be well educated in diplomatic masters. My lord, Panagioros. Oh, she died. Fell from the window of her bedchamber to her death. Holy crap. At least you have a alliance with this man. Anyways, Panagioros, a local brawler known for the superior strength as a Roger court, seeking an audience if this person is eager to serve as a stalwart defender of your family. Oh my goodness, he's got strong and Herculean. Despite the melancholy, he is the strongest man in the world. The strongest man alive. I want him. We want you as our new recruit. Now that man ought to be my bodyguard. Let's see your ages. Average. Prowess skill. Mind if I look at you again? It's the base level. I'll persuade the mayor because I don't know him that well. Okay, maybe not. Maybe persuade the Duke even though he and I don't see each other eye to eye. Successful persuasion. Hopefully the laws will go my way as I impregnate Christina. Alright. Try to bring her in. Even if you screw up, we can try it again. Not be wonderful if Shamim abode me, not out of fear but out of gratitude. If I were, for example, to save her from vicious bandits while she was out traveling. Indeed, vicious bandits like the men currently waiting outside the castle gate. I would charge them with my guards to the last moment, draw them off and leaving Shamim like that. So simple yet so convincing. Still gotta spend money to get loyalty out of this person. Was slain in the door 2 years ago. Want to write a book about medicine? Will not accept. Will accept. So there's you. And this is the Captain's Caravan Master. Courtiers. Ah, these are your children. Right. Also, I didn't know that you're Phantomid. Well, come on in and bring your family over. By God's nails. The cursed children, my son Tapara and his compatriot Nishindena, were caught red-handed and have snuck into the armory. Don't they know that weapons are dangerous? Nishindena had herself hurt, but fortunately Tapara ran outside and grabbed the nearest stall, admitting everything that they'd done. Tapara looks genuinely distraught. I don't think he'll be ever dishonest again. Why didn't you help her immediately? So he'll be impatient. Anyways, these laws that's been changed here. Crown supremacy. Piety up. No, piety down. Prestige up. The clergy do not like it. Salaries back to being unregulated. Urban planning is reduced to loose guidelines. Judicial formalities. Back to complex documentation. Moral standard, absolute purity to my liking. Command structures back to being strict orders again, and the intelligence ordinance back to being an espionage network. As it used to be, you know, this way. Such been taught by Marquess. Learning increased by 2. Despite that, just pause. I tried to press pause, but it didn't stop. So even though I gave him a patient, which is a -2, but no. And increased the stewardship a bit. Yeah, she's on her way here. Is there not anyone that's willing to forge, say, armor? Metalsmith inspiration. Is forging. Alright, check back in future. Very high now, flood. Small hill forts finally built, and crop fields finished. If you want to improve it, save it up. But our income is better than ever. But don't forget that we're raising development very fast. Because I want to utilize it all. If you want to write about medicine, but make sure she doesn't go anywhere. Excellent. Very nice. Sonoja Piki. That's quite a name. Sonoja Piki. If that's how you pronounce it. Proposed trade from the king himself. Really? So, you want to trade me. So, allies trade with a 50% discount. Vassals / liege with 20% expected gold cost trade. So the effects on him is that he spends 180 gold as payment to the merchants and pays 90 to him. That pays 90 to you. As a sign of goodwill. So he gets all the good stuff. Go ahead. Lands are teeming of merchants and gained 90 gold. Well, after all, you're my friend, so you do deserve everything. Yeah. So I want you to get to work on writing all about medicine. Right away. Lately, my efforts to impress have fallen flat. My friendship with Queen Eronias is still standing on shaky ground. It's a mess. However, I've got a brilliant idea. Of my beneficiary, Shamim, had a dedication to the masterpiece she's making. A flattered dedicatee will be deeply touched by my generosity and magnificence, and will have no choice but to like me more. Sister-in-law. Why not? This artifact's dedicated to my friend and sister-in-law. Due to my close connections to the royal family of Makuria. tutors been educating children, as it should be, as well as telling them to encourage competition. By all of our Fatima children. My Hannah, leave me alone. The peaceful atmosphere shows is yelling as she storms the courtyard. Rita quickly follows, but stops when she sees me. Malik, please talk some sense into Shamin. I'm trying to help her since I have some experience that may prove it work. Leave her alone, please. Also, I'm reminded. In regards to who's here. Because, you know, all of a sudden we got 2 Armenians in the court. And, you know, simply for the sake of it. Where's... Ah, never mind. I was about to say he should marry to, you know, one of those other... Oh, no, never mind. It's just too old to be married. Didn't realize your age. I was about to marry those 2 Armenians together, but no. For that. Thought it'd be more fun that way. Oh, yes. Go ahead. Be a hell of an investment. As a matter of fact, Abu Hamad produces more tax than my capital does. And you can see the difference of the tax income you can see in Abu Hamad and Crusader. 4.6 Crusader and Abu Hamad 5.3. So the gold province is more important. He's still a guest there. But I want that artifact of his that he's carrying so I can inherit of it. After learning that Dana would be attending the dance in Castel Dongola, I decided it would be a perfect case to pass by to ensure I get a face-to-face time with him. The day of the dance was pressed by grey skies, and unlike festivities I expected, the mood was dour. This is hopeless. Damn. Well, you better hope that medicine book better be a good book. Such it says that you are excellent at your craft. Anyone? My lord, look at that paper. I've never seen such fine quality before. The beneficiaries for me breaks away from our market process to cost of merchant selling the covered item. Static over fine. With this, my project would reach new heights. I could create something truly marvelous. Please, my Marquess, install this gift for me. Just for the sake of it, absolutely. Guards, seize what I need. Not spending money on that. In the meantime, your stewardship is still increasing. Wants to forge a dagger. Writing. Wants to go on an adventure. See too if you can befriend her. Or even possibly fabricate a hook. Either way works. It's a good chance. Get to work. Either befriend or the fabricated hook. What's faster? Fabricated hook is faster. But prepare to spend your money on trying to get this person over here. Because she has got an adventure inspiration now. I kind of want to grab an artifact that might be used whenever I have a royal court to myself, should I ever become future king of Mercuria, but I don't think we're ready for that. My lord, the beneficiary smiles and gestures me over with ink-stained hands. The book is finished. I hope the completed work overshadows my lack of knowledge on the subject. Please, have a look. A monumental herbarium with detailed drawings of each plant, descriptions of medical properties. The cover is wood that's been painted to display a repeating image of inspirational quotes. The tiny but elegant description on the first page dedicates to the stalwart friend they run. Small health boost. Inventory artifact. Not a court artifact. Thank you very much. You can get rid of this thing and put that in. Just to help me out to stay healthy for another couple more years. Because I want to see my youngest son to continue to grow up. Good. Son learns the Arabic language. There's another one that you ought to learn. No, not Armenian. Greek. It's the other important language that you must know. Alright, barracks innovations finished. Which means you can upgrade these further. In 2 years' time, we'll have months. We got hamlets. And we'll be building this next. It'll only take a couple months for desert agriculture. But hold on, you're about to spend money on this. I've started a series of vicious rumors against Malash. None of them are true. Someone should decry them as the obvious lies they are. What better way for that someone to have Malash at their depth? Oh, I don't have to spend money on it. Said spend piety. You want to go on an adventure. Can't get you in here. Huh. Listen, the easiest thing in the world is just to say, get out! The den veteran. Get out! No need for murder, just tell him to get the hell out of here. Outright. Now we could bring you to court. And yeah, you could bring that man over here. Because, you know, nah, old age just gets him. But still, it's pretty humorous. To sponsor your inspiration, you need 155 gold. Desert architects can wait. Stop. Do a less inexpensive way. yet to find anyone that forge armor, so I don't think we're going to do much of, you know, give what we want. 50 gold. Can we handle that? Sure. I'll tell them, don't develop further. Stop right there. You just need one last great artifact for this adventure inspiration. Marius of VIET asked me to promote in Angelos to the honor of commandership. I believe I wish to have a say to the matter beforehand. Anyways. Would it not prefer just to serve as a courtier? It might be useful. Not gonna put him in the ranks, but he could be useful for something else. Recently I detected that someone can only be upon my council to smear me among the courtiers, guests, vassals of mine, especially to be influenced. This bad word about me can only be spoken out of contempt about my person, which without proof points perhaps to sin. I must be on my guard about possible future attempts to defame me again. I'll perhaps reshuffle the council positions to be accommodated. To accommodate someone with a better opinion of myself is in order. I am not happy at all. Councilors with negative opinions on me. Ah, yes, the clergy. Let me compliment. Today, Abdul held a virus sermon for all the children of the court. They were apparently spellbound as he zealously read the scriptures. My son Tapara now seems certain he's destined for greatness, claiming that God supports him indiscriminately. That's right. Never forget that the divine is on your side. There you go. Compliments to you. +1 on everything, but prone to stress. Especially him being an impatient man. Damn. No good mayors. My son Shakanda is the steward. Yeah, we're heavily relying on developing the heck out of Abu Hamad. I mean, are you kidding? Compared to this, and well, that one's poor. That's why that land's ripe for development. And I'll invest in one more great artifact inspiration. Alright, enough with the intrigue. Switch over to diplomacy. And get these two. And then who knows what I'll do afterwards. What the hell's going on over there? I just realized next door there's a revolt. Is it a claimant war? Tyranny. Excellent. Even more excellent. Very high now. Flood, therefore higher. The main tax income. I mean, obviously this episode has become a bit formulaic of what I'm doing here, but I just want to stay home for a couple more years just to watch my child grow up. He's impatient, he's ambitious, he's going to have the attitude that he wants things done and he wants it now. The food I ate for dinner today was quite an interesting variety of flavors. Savory, sweet, sour, and so on, all blending together into a decent meal. Bored and curious, I asked my cook to come out and quiz on what I'd say. With a calm and pleasantry, he explains the various ingredients he used to and how he prepared them. Very fascinating indeed. Learning about cooking and food. Get ready to fund that inspiration. I'm willing to throw all my money into that. You want to go on an adventure? Said to be legendary renowned throughout the world. Let's do it. Worry not, my great Marquess. My voice bows with a dramatic flair and hesitates. I shall venture on and explore the world in your stead while you continue ruling over your own. What I bring back will be as such cover you'll feel my accomplishments. Permeate through the memento of my adventure. There's a slight pause for which continues. On that note, is there an area of the world you are interested in, my lord? See what Southern Europe has to offer. You know, where Christendom is still very much alive over there. Even though we Nubians are long separated from our, from our Christian brothers from far up to the north. Your friend died. My spouse left her position in court. And now she's been assigned as the royal architect. Hey, get back here. I need you here. I don't care what the king says. Turn around now. The time has come for you to depart on my adventure, my Marquis. My beneficiary of mouthwash. Files as well as she can while weighed down by heavy bags. Before I leave, please tell me, is there anything specific you want me to keep an eye peeled during my journey? I want to possess something truly unique. It's likely I'm going to get a court artifact for this. Okay, she's turning around. Get back to court. I need you here. Thank you. First time it happened, I barely gave it a moment's thought. While my vassal's Merki has grown bolder. This child is no longer passed unnoticed among my vassals. He has tasted my lips, others are sure to follow. Let's give him a taste of his own medicine. He's a treacherous villain. So I'll say, forgetting to invite him, he's in the dark. failed to manipulate him. So I plan on doing the scrutinized travelers. Travel across the frontier of Egypt and Nubia is heavily monitored. We need to prevent the entry of troublemakers and extradite any criminals or wanted fugitives on the other side of the border. So, success chance can be increased by spending additional gold for most options. Gain trade experience. It just depends on your intrigue skill. Alright. May have improved opinion or even a friendship with my counterpart. Time for more paperwork. As the Lord of the Mountain, I monitor cross-border traffic between Egypt and Nubia. Some of these travelers have legitimate business, like merchants or diplomatic envoys, while others less so, like bandits and escaped slaves. I feel we need to dedicate more resources towards monitoring this cross-border traffic and enforcing our regulations on visitors and travelers, and expelling those who appear dangerous. In doing so, my subordinates can also pick up on useful intelligence, directly and indirectly. We could also dedicate some of these resources to help my counterpart, the governor of Aswan, Wali Akin, to catch any criminal fugitives from their side of the frontier, as a desirable consequence of scrutinizing travelers more heavily. Since we have such good income these days, let's help them too. 98% chance success, 1% chance failure. Our efforts to our heavily scrutinized travelers coming to and from our side of the frontier of Egypt and Nubia have yielded success. My officials have reported that they've captured far more criminals and bandits than they did previously, and that those traveling legitimately have been more or less cooperative. Thanks to our efforts, we've learned plenty of useful military and political intelligence, which will help us to manage the frontier for a long time. We also caught many of the fugitives fleeing from the other side of the border, who will be repatriated back to the territories of the governor of Aswan. Walakin, as part of the Bach Treaty, he will undoubtedly be impressed. Good work. Be sure to notify Akin. So very useful Egypt-Nubia border intelligence for 10 years. Initial hostile scheme success chance increases. Hell yeah. There's a thing inside me which is not me. It eats away through my flesh, fading from my life force. Its strength increasing. While I would away. I push my hands against the growth under my skin, my fingers aching to tear it out. The thought of it growing makes me want to puke. Yes, unfortunately, it is cancer. All I know, one efficient treatment, he said. Will do no more is necessary. I want to live a few more years to see my son grow up all the way. Safe treatment. It's not those called on the priest to bring forth the finest singer in the court, which turned out to be a young child of a bright tenor voice. For several days in a row, the child sang me to sleep. His soothing voice turned out to be just what I needed. For now, the worst of my symptoms are leaving and the world seems a little brighter. Well then, reduced disease symptoms. It's a massive boost, but I have poor health now, so I got a couple of years left in me. The officials of Baton al-Hajjah have gained a reputation for being honest and incorruptible, focusing on what's good for the community. What is good for the community, and not in their own interest. Whether such an assessment is accurate or not, sure reflects on me and my administration. Good. These officials set an example to us all. My nephew, Prince had honored me a visit and has brought one of his courtiers along. First excited. Well met, Marquess Merki. Pleases me to see you are thriving here. It occurs to me that CT here might be of your service support. He's an incredibly talented scholar, a prize I ever learned from. I would make use of him myself, but alas, it doesn't seem possible. I did see his great talent go to waste. Would you take him and unleash his potential? He ain't no scholar.
Scared, but he's a good fighter, so I know just the place for him. You got it. Now look, Shakanda is 30. He has excellent stewardship, which would give us a lot of great income with this. If only he was intelligent, he would be heir. Nashadina. All rounder, but pretty questionable, despite the fact that she's quick and strong and athletic. But Tashka, Senek, at least closer to me. Personality-wise. Tapara, and there's Sanjapiki. Tapara, I will name him designated heir. Well, my legitimacy will go down. Spend lots of prestige for this. So now, he is the heir. And of course this changes the inheritance thing. Unfortunately, the gold province is going to go to him. It's going to go to Matashka instead of Tapara. Under partition, Royal American, not they give it a title that he's not centered. I could have done it beforehand. Yeah, I could have done it beforehand. So instead he gets Rim and Pakoras. These two here. For starters. Zenkablasha for Shakanda. Far separated. Now Tashkar will get Abu Hamad. He gets the gold province and the most fortified province of Nobadia. Here. All I can say is, damn, should have done it beforehand. And if you wish to disinherit, or at least make him take the vows, good luck with that. Even if you ask him to take the vows, he ain't budging, because he's got a claim. Might accept. By the will of Saint Samuel, why am I so sore? I slept well as I usually do, but whenever I stretch I could feel my bones all but striking as they scrape against each other. I stared down at my hands, closely observing the nails, yellowing of age, tough skin wrinkling more than I like. It's difficult to imagine that the youth once surged through this flesh, hot and vital. Ah, why do everyone's joints creak like this? Body begins to slow down. As my body sapped the strength by cancer, I feel ever worse. I cannot leave the bed anymore. Unfortunately, the malady has run its course, and I die one evening. Smells the scent of candle wax. My recipes. Okay, that cancer was aggressive, and it got to quicker than we anticipated. My goodness. Marquess Merki, the second of Nobadia, has found peace in Christ's embrace at 57 years of age. He died of cancer. A conscientious man, he was renowned for his excellent skills as a steward and a ruler. Let's not forget that Yes, he was distinguished and devoted servant. He was an architect and a scholar. He was an expansionist. Fought in 2 different wars, hosted 4 activities, and attended 2 activities. So now, Marquess Tapara ascends to the throne. Having mastered many skills, he is sure to be admired by his subjects. You don't seem to have much of a problem with me, and that's good. But, Shakanda, you'll do. Support from the region has given me lots of domain limit for this. Now I've lost the Great Tutor, as I'm Lord of the Mountain now. You can teach me. I'm formerly a pilgrim. I'm impatient and ambitious. I inherited all these things, including this old book here. As far as relationships concerned, I am friend of the Episcopos. Paimane is my victim. Shakanda, the regent. See to if you can get extra gold. Stop. One day, I would like to get that title off of him. No, he's never going to accept this. Actually, he might. Increase his opinion more. Let me compliment him. Increase his opinion a little more, and he might give me the gold province to me. If not, there's going to be war. You know, that's an act of tyranny. But please remember, you do not have these claims. "13 years! Claiming Vassal's County will take that long? Are you daft? Are you ribbing me? You ain't ribbing. Although rather surprisingly, the income is still very good, which, to be fair, it's under very high flood. And these are your most developed territories that you're sitting on. And we still got some extra building materials. Materials that would soon be needed to increase our fortification size. That'll make those Nubia. 17 months, we're going to be well fortified here. Don't have to spend as much. Make sure that your steward is doing this thing. Can meet the peers. That's another way to get skills. None of you does not expect arrival time. Damn. If nobody wants to come, then frick. And the only thing you could do is a funeral. Yeah, this is what I fear. Factionalisms. Need to be betrothed to someone, especially from within a realm. Shamir, of course. Sounds strange, especially with the age gap, but this is for political reasons. My study of the Greek language is progressing fantastically. I feel like I have all the focused energy now. My name is Tapara. I like to eat fig pie. If I just focus even harder, I'll speak fluently in no time. Patient, curious, and ambitious. I will dedicate all my time to this. Even though you have like 3 months up, but do it now. Success. You just learned Greek, and your party just jumped up. Now we have an alliance between us. Because I reckon we'll be in for real strife. They want to gang up on me. And because Shakanda, who was the original rightful heir, he wants to be the Lord of the Mountain. Yeah, you can't do all these because you're a child. No worries. Most of the excellent fighters are still with you. For the most part. But we never had time to increase the size of our men-at-arms because my father, cancer got to him way too quicker. So they want the Nobadian throne. This is war between the brothers that's coming up. And they're ganging up on me. They have no allies, but I have one to back me up. But no, they're not going to. Okay. So royal favor. Let's see what we got. If we could get the number of knights up to increase knight effectiveness more, that would be excellent. However, there's a power struggle that's become a real issue. Thus lowering all my skills, especially the knight effectiveness. I'm only a teenager. With this perceived weakness that I have. Skills and age of personality are primary factors. And it's the Chancellor that's causing the reduction of diplomacy, monthly prestige, stress gain, steward with the monthly income, and marshal with the knight effectiveness.
And Spymaster. Ain't what they used to be. But none of you guys are good. Christina the what? You could be the new Spymaster because I don't trust the current one. Yeah, despite that. All I could say is let there be no factionalism and just hopefully, you know, just hold the fort here. And maybe perhaps ask the Pope, who does not like me at all due to crown supremacy because of my liege. He'll never accept me. Especially, you know, when it comes to, you know, it's only to your own vassals. But I want the gold. Should have this turned on. Who knows, maybe one day. Oh, I could start merger scheme if you're 14. If I kill him, Shakanda gets everything, and that makes him the most powerful around. And if you get rid of him. Am I really going to resort to that? You're being serious right now? Your birthday's on the 14th of December. My lord, a message from your adventurer, Mawash. So it says, enemy scroll. My searches led me to the floodplains of Armand, notoriously wolf-infested. I have every good reason to think that my goal is near. Expect my return soon, San Mawash scroll. It's surely ambitious to choose such a risky path. I got hopes she doesn't have to fight one. Let's overcome by charging wild wolf. She's on her way back to court. I just noticed that. Hopefully as I grow up further, that it's not just a council power struggle. Regent pays 50 gold to me. Thank you very much. Vassals will, at times, overstep their bounds. Antiquity says, forgiveness will strengthen your bonds. At times, put trust in us, subject, despite their reputation, lest you'll be overburdened, he draws on. It's important that you give them the time they need to right their wrongs, one says. Hold it up, Parchment. Now, what have you learned here today? Forgiving, while it's a virtue amongst the Coptics, while trusting can give you a higher opinion towards liege and your vassals, and can offer agents a strong hook. +1.
Trusting your subjects is very important. So I'll be more trusting. Although I think he might be a contradictory type of character, which you ought to be careful with the stress deals and everything. My cousin got imprisoned. So my intrigue's on a weak side now. No, no one. Unfortunately, no one can come. Because everybody's too far away, and such things. But soon we'll be entering into a period of discord. Fatimids have made great gains, even all the way over there. But they haven't gone towards the direction of Egypt itself, as, you know, they still have many obstacles to take care of. And there's the new Blemian king. Scary to fight against, especially when it comes to national defense. But at least for now, my brothers aren't at each other's throats, nor they're at towards me. Because let's be honest, they're actually intimidated of me. One's terrified of me. Because their personality traits. Thank you very much. Adding more diplomacy to it. Oof. The inner circle trait. +2 diplomacy and +3 stewardship while reducing the piety and stage further, and domain taxes just crumbled. My lord, I have found a few trite relics so far in my adventures, which I sent with this courier, but I'm unsure which I may uncover next. The Europeans are the smelliest creatures I've ever encountered. As a child, I dreamt of the green and pleasant meadows, but I'm convinced that half of this world is made of mud. If you are gracious, liege, please send word to call me back. This isn't a holiday. Quest on. Fingernails of St. Margaret. That's a court artifact. Yeah, not only the economy crumbled because of the goddamn inner circle thing, but also very low flood. Don't forget about that part. I mean, if you wish to murder, it'll be very hard to do, you know. Unless you want to request a favor to get a hook on him. But that would be tyrannical. And we got another ally. And the oasis up there. That's good to know. platoon armies being assembled to deal with these raiders. Now we have the Mott's innovation, and you're intervening in a war on Nobadia's behalf. Well, this is as good a time as any to invest in the defenses. This one will take 19 months, the other 2 years. In fact, let's add this further. Thanks to very high stewardship by Shakanda. Now, it takes 7 months and the other 9 months. That's all thanks to those extra building materials that's still there that my father bought and never had a chance to use it. But mind you, it's decreased for every remaining use, so let's upgrade the defenses of our capital here. Start with this first. Gives you a tiny bit of tax income. Get to work. Just take advantage of this. My lord, my beneficiary, my watch not so around with a surprisingly loud voice. She proudly holds up a package securely wrapped in cloth. I returned from southern Europe with an artifact for my journey. I take the bulky bundle to my hands and loosen the cords before peeling layer after layer of fabric. Inside is an artifact unlike anything I've seen before. Smiles proudly. This is claimed to be Katana, the Sword of Mercy, the legendary sword that was once wielded by Tristan against Morholt. This would be why the tip of the sword is missing, a piece lost to the thick skull of the Irish giant. This is magnificent. It's a court artifact if I had a court. Also, indestructible. If I had a royal court, this would be excellent. Thank you, Father, for investing in her. Friends are often so fickle and prone to betrayal, but Nera is my dearest friend betrayer. My favorite toy is more than just to me. He is my best friend. However, my guardian Santos has been insisting that I cast my best friend aside and spend time with real children and properly socialized, but he just doesn't understand what my sweet toy means to me. I'll never abandon my best friend. Start holding a grudge against him. I couldn't believe it. 1 minute, yes, my best friend was there, girl to save him lives. The next, it was Russell to criticize his brutish paws like Satan himself. He cackled and noised him of deer, or prompting slamming him to the ground, leaving him more than a splintered mess on the floor. I wished for my beloved friend, frantically trying to piece him back together, but it was no good. I had just witnessed a murder. One day, I'll do the same to him. It's sinful, but damn it. You don't know what I'm like when I'm angry. 4 traits, but one's gotta go. Unless, you know, this vengeful attitude of mine will be, will just be temporary. I think I'll see Margaret and Katana. Beautiful. Now they're going in after him. Textbook. gave me more gold. Gold, which is to be spent on these defenses here. After these 3 months, then we're gonna get this next, which will take about 9 months. Oh, and thanks to the educational success here, just reduced the time and cost further. And mind you, we've been on a very low flood, which, you know, we know that the effect of that does reduce the cost, but hopefully we have a good flood. My diplomacy increases by 2 again. Okay, now it's low flood instead of very low, so that's a slight improvement in terms of income. $22 gold, 9 months. And with this can cause reduced control decline and increased control growth. And have more defender advantage. So now this place will be just as defendable as Dongola. If only. But there's another thing I would like to save my money for. A university visit. Of what would it look like by that time when I go to Byzantium. 312. So you should consider saving your money for that. Because I know for a fact that my martial education will not be the best. But at least it was a damn good attempt at that. But you got to at least make an effort. As I wander across the courtyard, a scrap of parchment swirls in the breeze. I catch it with strange strokes dubbed onto anything I like to see before. I find my note, David's voice startles me, sensing of amusement. Taps this scrap assuringly. It's another language, little lord. Don't you worry. I can read it, but you don't need to bother yourself with it for now. Sure, why not? I'll learn Armenian. I don't see the use of that language, but still, it's something to add. Hell, even me in real life, I don't know a single word of Armenian. Now losing. Hunting grounds. Okay. Trade alliances gained a little bit of gold. Okay, now it's taking longer than originally expected. Which other factors are at play here? That's going to be one of the first acts I would like to do. Don't care how my education trade's going to look. I am going to that university and try to improve it. Chow approaches me, riding his stance. My lord, I heard that you are studying the Armenian language. My father was a merchant, and he could learn any language in no time at all, he says. His secrets are in this manual. I have no use for it, as I cannot read. I'd part of a reasonable sum. Patient, trusting. A fine gift. Guards, make him hand him over. That's the vengeful side of me coming out. Because I don't want to spend money at this time. I'll be more than happy to put it to use, but however, it's only 4 days faster. Okay, just only for this time. Be turning 16 pretty soon. Volunteer service courtier. He could be useful as a spy master. Young prodigy. Quick-minded, emerging prodigy. Again, having 4 traits is not the best thing that you could do here. Despite my martial education, but I'm pretty good at stewardship. Give it at that. I remember, money's going to the trip to the university, and Egypt's in revolt. Tyranny war. Nine months left. It's December now, and I'm about to turn 16. So, here we go. What the hell, Santos? I achieved an understanding of warfare that far exceeds any of my peers. I defied everyone's expectations and achieved what was deemed impossible for me. Mastery of warfare. As I take my first steps to adulthood, I find myself reminiscing about some of the people who have made an impact on the man I have become. The friendship I shared with Abdullah meant a lot to me when we were both young, and to still have him by my side means a lot. I wonder if Amina still remembers the things I put her through when we were young. Marquess Tapara, you're a man now. You're an exalted commander. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, -2 on everything, but martial plus 12. And battle, the day. The battlefield is the domain of Tapara, and no martial matter is beyond his knowledge. I mean, I already have the trait of reckless that was picked up when I was a child. And in addition, I also have raider. So, raids are a little faster if you have a sizable enough force to make that happen. And when you have a high martial skill, not only it reduces the army gold maintenance, which is rather important, especially as I wear a crown that reduces the man-at-arms maintenance, but reduces the recruitment cost, which means it costs less to increase the size of all these things. I'm thinking, like, what's more important to you to win the day? I'll say chivalry focus. You know, I'm a daring adventurer, so it doesn't help me with the lovely lifestyle experience. Let's go with that. I've got a bright future ahead of me. Huh. I was a bit stuck, so. Alright, you. Now, as I had to think something before we go to that university of Constantinople, I noticed that my rule hasn't really officially begun as he's still a regent. And that's going to remain the case. Because, as I just said, I'm going to Constantinople. But first, we get married. Yes. Why would anyone want to marry that miserable fiend is beyond me. What? That's what you're asking me. Oh, because not only she's jealous, but she's Glenn's vengeful. Is that why you called her that? That's my wife you're talking about. Watch your damn mouth. Military renowned trait. With my marriage to the Marquess Nobadia, Rome expects to throw us a suitable, extravagant wedding celebration. As well, my right to collect royal duty as part of this. Some may consider it tasteless to levy an extra tax during this time of jubilation. Well, of course I will collect it. Who pays for their own wedding? Stop! Shakanda's feast. A feast, you say? Let me see. How many years we got? Got 8 months. Another thing, I want to make a note of it. Since I'm going to be gone for a while, and I should not be concerned about what goes on here in the realm. So I'm willing to take this off, and construction will take a little bit longer, because no doubt by the time I return from Constantinople, I am going to be here, and I'm going to see those defenses built. But in the meantime, I'm going to go to this here feast, and then I am going to Constantinople. And I want to be there quickly. Well, what do you know? Make haste and conscious. So, the world is a dark and dangerous place. It's best to hasten the journey as much as possible. Let everyone know. It will make the journey faster. We're throwing caution to the wind out here. Let's go to this feast as quickly as possible. So, and you know, he's also the regent. I want you to keep that in mind. He's the one running the country in my absence. Because I'm still not officially, you know, a trusting objection to realm laws. Why do they waste so much time of the realm's wealth on these ridiculous intelligence operations? There is no threat, no grand conspiracy lurking in every shadow. It is their paranoia that drains our coffers, not some imaginary enemy. We spend far too much on spies and secrets, while the realm's true needs go unmet. They are chasing ghosts, and in doing so, they undermine the very foundation of our prosperity. I will not allow this endless suspicion to bankrupt us. We need to build, not destroy, and I will let fear lead us down this wasteful path. This is due to because of that vigilance law. Espionage network is ridiculous. Because I'm
It's because of the trusting and the impatience. Now remember, I have 4 traits, so it's only a matter of time before I get rid of one of them. And you're gonna make me steward. Oh yes. Now that I have the skill for it, I mean, I would rather be marshal, but this will do. Because as the steward, that means more tax income. The main taxes go of buildings made cheaper. Even if I lost the gold province during the succession, we still make quite a bit of money here. What now? Servants run across the hall bringing in the final decorations. Some of the guests yet to arrive, and I indulge myself with a delicious drink by the fire. There's no place I'd rather be. We have a lovely time ahead of us. See who I can befriend. I think it would make sense to befriend my brother, my half-brother. For what reason exactly? Oh, I don't know. By the way, you're the one who, no, that's Club Labshah. He's the one that has claimed Abu Hamad. I was about to say the gold province. And it's also to prevent factionalism. To try to get rid of me. But you know, my intrigue skill ain't all that great. Unless I get rid of that trusting trait. And if I was a spy master, I would more likely, you know, murder my own regent and murder my brother and get the land back. But, however, the intrigue is so low that even if you do manage to kill him, you're going to be known as a murderer, and worse, be known as a kinslayer. And you know, in Coptic Christianity, close kid slaying is criminal. And I'll never get the Pope's, approval, and the king himself would throw me into prison for that. Do you think that's a good idea? It would be better just to befriend. My goodness. Don't even think such things. Yes. Negotiating an alliance. To prevent factionalism, yes. And you may assist me whenever I decide to get rid of this man. Every guest is gathered in a great hall, and our gracious host Count Shakanda has welcomed us all to the feast. I look forward to this. Lost the ambitious trait. Damn. It's taken much evening to get myself close to Count Shakanda, making it feel forced. After all, the best friendships are natural, and I want him to think it's spontaneous. By Saint Matthew extols my event, bare disguise about. That was a heavy course, and so soon after the last weighty one, it simply sits too heavily in my stomach. I simply cannot believe that the service keeps our master working this poorly. Yes, he's steward, just to rectify. What am I doing? What started as an ordinary feast, exceptional thanks to Leon. We spoke all evening about all manner of subjects, and as things would have it, we seem to have a lot in common. That's such a good time. What a good evening. A loud crash resounds through the great hall as one of the doors of the servants' quarters breaks. An unclothed tumble. My brother, Shakanda, and my great son spill on the floor in front of everyone. To imagine they had such a secret. Fornicator. I ought to throw you in prison for that.
What kind of food is this? So rich in flavor. Never before I've seen or tasted such an exotic treat. Oh, these wonderfully strange lavish sweets. This feast is some incredible dishes I've never seen before, and I doubt I will again. Must ask for the source. Delightful. As the feast winds to an inevitable conclusion, there's one evening remaining that everyone's expecting. And that's Count Shakanda's toast to the guest of honor, Mayor Mele. It's a decent speech, if a bit long-winded, but that's usually how things go. The assembled guests clap and whoop politely whenever there's just some more enthusiastically than others. I never liked her all that much, to be honest. Really don't care for her. She's the man's wife. Daylight pours through the windows. Just one more, the whole hall becomes illuminated. Most seats are now empty. Some servants hand me my weapons and take their leave with a cheery bow. What a pleasure it was to have you with us, Count Shakana smiles at me. What a feast! Before coming, my clothes were staggered over fitting. Now I stagger out of Count Shakana's halls twice as full of food and memories when I arrived. This was a feast I will struggle to forget. But now I shall depart. Wine, ale, fine food. What better relief from the troubles of the world than there is the night of revelry? As each feast ends, I'll find myself landing in the next. I wonder who will come. Yeah, I'll be an eager reveler. Which gives me a tiny bit of intrigue skill. Not a better income these days. Regency is not at an end, because I say so, as we'll do a few things here. Since I'm a military man myself, let's fortify the border. The Nile has attracted armies, bandits, and other troublemakers who seek to exploit its riches. Border safety for the people traveling through the river valley depends on well-staffed, well-maintained border forts. Success depends on your martial skill. Time for more paperwork. The frontier of Egypt and Nubia is an important border region for many reasons: military, political, and economic. As the Lord of the Mountain, it is my duty to defend against any enemy armies traveling along the Nile Valley. I have thus set aside some resources to repair old forts and outposts, build new ones as needed, provide support to the messengers and patrols who travel to and from these locations, and brought troops to flush out any bandits and raiding desert tribes here. However, sometimes the local people or traveling merchants might be wary of any efforts to exert our authority over them, so I might have to dedicate some extra resources to ensure everything goes smoothly. Gonna need that money for the university, so I'll say the resources we have are adequate. 69% chance of success. All counties you completely control the frontier region will gain control and bolstered frontier defenses. Effective results, which gives you these benefits, especially holding taxes. 30% failure will be loss of prestige and will bolster these defenses with mixed results, thus losing the holding tax. I've received word from my subordinates that our efforts to fortify our border along the Egypt and Nubian frontier are going smoothly. We have successfully maintained our defenses and supported our messengers and patrols and captured or killed a number of bandits and raiders in these parts. Overall, it appears my underlings have done a competent job with our recent endeavors, even if some of the locals and traveling merchants have mixed feelings. My officials say they ultimately understand the importance of maintaining our defenses. This will keep us well defended for now. Alright. Now we got a little bit more holding tax. Just looking before we go. Your income is good enough, so these can wait. Oh yes, the personal agenda. War is fascinating. Still have a lot to learn. Alright. Courtier mentions that this ruler is an enthusiast of ancient military tactics and strategy, always seeking to learn and improve. If I was leading the army, I'd pursue efficiency, men-at-arms counter efficiency, and maximum battle roll. And we could bestow the royal favor because, as far as I could see, we could do better. Especially with the knights, to try to increase their effectiveness even more. Always with the knights. Okay, now, let's go to Constantinople. So my plan is that after we do our studies, that'll be the end of this episode, and the next episode will be, on the way back, and then figure out what we could do from here. Experienced captains and mercenary guards will be just under its But let me customize the route. Just need to go a few places to pick up that martial lifestyle a bit. Yeah, we'll go overland. And then I'll worry about the destination back. Okay? Worry about that later. I'm spending all my money just to get education. Further education. Let's move out. Oh, thank you for the 20 gold. $105 gold. Oh, you guys are terrible. Laughably incompetent people. Let me compliment you. And when I'm done learning that language, I'm going to have to sway you. The heat is overbearing as I pass through the orchards of Sabagura. Around me, the trees are in full bloom, celebrating the season. Suddenly, a high-pitched shriek pierces the air. As I quicken my step, only to find a peasant child below a tree. It shambles and sobbing violently. It would seem made an attempt to climb at a tree before stepping and falling to the ground. One of the bone pipes are protruding at a strange angle. Boys will be boys, as I say that as a vengeful person. The rain hasn't let up when we've been traveling through Salvagoa. I've been nervously eyeing the river as its murky waters swelled ever larger, like some pus-filled blister. My chancellor, Shaban, is complaining once again. We've trudged through the sodding sucking cesspit for days. When this we've been since the bank finally breaks, and a rush of thick water and dark water sloshes over supplies on Shaban. Oh, I gotta save that man. It means we have to travel slower. It seems our caravan's a little lost in these foreign lands. It's been trailing us for hours. Last swallow's plan asked for ours. Does not appear to be an expert Coptic speaker. Oh yeah, we never knew Coptic language. We just got lost. Let's treat him. I forgot that Coptic is a separate language to Egyptian Arabic. While traversing a challenging path of fire, I hear laughter ahead. Masha, Santos, and my bodyguard Sabas are working together across an overflowing creek bed. Santos, your idea to build a makeshift bridge was brilliant, exclaims Sabas. Santos replies to Chopper, and your quick thinking with those reeds tied it all together. Seems this obstacle led to a new friendship. This will hasten our journey indeed. Wall! Across a bright ship. That's a first. Passing to the pyramids of Giza. As we walk through the streets of Giza, a procession of soldiers emerge from a side street. Most of them are injured and aided by the downtrodden civilians. A herald proudly stands up in front of the throng of the people gathering around the marketplace and declares with a loud voice, "We have crushed those peasant revolt dogs yet again. It's only a matter of time before victory is ours." And yet the celebratory words pales when I look at the injured soldiers and their grieving relatives. Maybe they have some wisdom to share from their battles. So, 20% chance I insult the survivors, 36% chance I hear some stories about the battles, 16% chance I hear about the Egyptian strategic blunders, 19% I hear about how the Egyptian fought. And I hear about the Egyptian strategic blunders increasing Marshal 1. Traversing the floodplains on the outskirts of Giza, we were suddenly attacked by a swarm of bandit riders out for blood. Another set of riders rapidly approached from the nearby holding, led by Wali Yaya. I was very pleasantly surprised at the altruistic demeanor of the local Wali, and I praise God that they arrived just in time. Yaya circles back around with victorious grin on his face. You should join us for some missionary hospitality at Giza. Right then. I didn't take long before I left. As I travel along the road, I notice a frail-looking peasant standing on the side of the path. As I inspect her more closely, she appears to be holding a small bundle. Please hold a moment. Times have been rough since my spouse passed away, and I'm at my wit's end. Would you be interested in buying my child? Well, it pains me deeply. I cannot afford to keep on. I must sell him to save what is left of his family. His name is Abdul. Coptic. Club-footed. Well, I'll make sure he's cared for. Yesterday our travels in Alexandria were rather grueling, and I was so exhausted I overslept. The rest of my entourage didn't want to wake me up, saying they worried that I would not be in the right state of mind if they didn't give me enough time to rest. Slightly increased the travel speed. I'd be careful not to oversleep again. Ruins of Kansas. As who passed through the valley of Irregular, a jubilant local approaches my entourage. His smile stretched from ear to ear. I discern he's offering a warm welcome, but the finer aspects of his speech are slightly lost on me. Be it as it may, I wave my attendant companions and return this joyful greeting. I can hardly imagine a more excellent chance to practice my Armenian, as he is one of them. Oh my goodness. Follower, he's slow, but he's a giant, he's a confident knight. He's been doing some traveling lately, has he? Join us on our journey to Byzantium. You're a hell of a man. Meritocracy. Get that so you can use the claim throne scheme against your liege, because you may never know, I might go for it. One day. Battle of Thera site. Alright, you learn Armenian. I feel accomplished. We've been making good time in our efforts to reach Byzantium, and the flats of Vridis thus allows us to lower our guard for a few moments. When we reach the peak of the valley and look below, I notice another entourage diligently pacing forward. They seem to be surveying the area, taking notes and discussing the scenery. Still observing the group, it would appear that masked riders with raised weapons are quickly approaching from the east. It seems like an ambush, and I hesitate. Is it really my responsibility to safeguard the other travelers? I must act. Me and my entourage ride headfirst into the would-be assassins, blind center complete. How incompetent do you have to be not to have a clear view of your rear? We easily slice through the few that resist and the rest run off to the wilds. I look up to see the Basilis Venterius staring at me, eyes wide and mouth slightly agape. He snaps out of it, his facial features adjust. He still seems surprised and grateful my intervention. He beckons me to come over. That's the good deed of my day, for the day. Another martial increase. Chivalrous deeds for the next 10 years, and a bit of martial lifestyle experience to go along with it. Come on, almost there. Oh, just died. I'm finally here, walking the hallowed halls of Constantinople, revered seat of all knowledge of the Orthodox world. I have so much to learn from the holy men and women who gather in between these venerable walls. Now, what about the ancient scrolls and books? Of course, major centers of culture are also active markets and offer all the distractions a student could ever desire. Well, time to get started then. You know, my learning skill isn't the best, but damn it, give it a try. Gain a traveler trait for this. Teaching at Constantinople takes place in the most part in oral form. Students are encouraged to exercise their rhetorical prowess and show the progress of their learning in debates in front of their peers and teachers. Today, Timothy has asked me and Georgius to take out opposing sides on the topic of Jewish-Christian debate to discuss it out. The giant monk. Well, let me begin from the scripture, as everyone knows. So either 57% chance of my position stronger or 43% chance of outmatch. I won the debate. Much more successful. A servant approaches me with a guilty expression on her face, and something hidden behind her. My lord, when I was cleaning your artifacts collection as usual, when I noticed the state you heard the disappear of your Nubian regalia, without an expert at court, it might not be possible to restore its former glory. But we might as well keep the scraps to be used in a new artifact. You know, There's this, there's a few out there that, no, we'll worry about that. Even though you no longer have the ability to fabricate hooks on those inspired people, because there's a few out there that want to make regalia, and you don't have the gold mine. It can still be saved, so put some money into that. My in-depth studies in the Coptic doctrine at Constantinople have confronted me with so many new questions, not all of which seem to have clear-cut answers. Some even seem to have contradictory explanations. Is faith supposed to be completed by reason or not? Does faith only deal with the unseen or not? Can we even know what is unseen or not? Yes or no? Oh dear. There must be some meaning in these contradictions, and I can't make any sense of it. At least you made it to tier 1. Praise Samurai. Pledgy has given birth to a perfect little daughter. One day, child, you will carry on my legacy. What name would befit such a mighty lady? Helena. It's quite a name. Cradled by sickness, that tends to happen. The chances of the children being born sickly. Students, we have an esteemed speaker join us today. My teacher, dear Faustin. Let us welcome Dodgda, the utmost story in Orthodox doctrine in Byzantium. Nice hat. He's Sardinian, that explains it. Greetings, he starts suddenly while bringing a hand to his heart. Today we'll be exploring the best daggersmiths in the realm and how it connects to the nature of God. What? The other students trained their backs procure calls. This is going to take a while. The best daggersmiths. What does this have to do with the nature of God? Just furiously scribble notes. The days I'm leaving class after a deep, thought-inducing class by Timotheus, my attention is drawn by the chaotic laughter and screaming coming from outside. Around base, this group of students that surrounds right down there with, and another person I don't recognize, who are playing dice on the stairs to the church. When they notice me, they generally join us. They frown up Timotheus' face speaks volumes on the thoughts of the whole matter. Maybe next time. Universities and centers of higher education are always bustling houses of socialization. In these hallowed halls, the students are all peers and all apprentices along the road to knowledge, which is why it could be helpful to make friends and feel a part of the community. At least these are my first thoughts when Georgios approaches me. The smell of Cyprus commandaria on his breath. Join me and my friends, Tapara. Prove to us the might of the Marquess by downing more cups than anyone else, and we shall consider you one of us. No thanks. As much as I'm a bit of a reveler myself, but I'd rather revel at my own time. Share the delicacy with the home country to everyone. Constantinople is often home to fervent debates among teachers and students alike. I had a particularly enlightening lecture from our teacher, Theophilus. I find myself dragged into one such debate with another student, Rob Downey. No, you're making no sense. You're completely misrepresenting the philosopher's point, I scream. You're completely delusional, she fires back. When I close my eyes, see... Oh, Theophilus stares at that. A pensive look on his face. What are you, the patriarch or something? Oh, Bishop. 50-50. But as the master says, she bested me. It's been such an amazing experience. When I left, I couldn't even imagine the number of wise men that study at Byzantium. The depth of their thinking, the breadth of their research, just being part of the same environment made me a much better person. With my newly gained knowledge, I can make my way home very satisfied. Only able to pick up the martial lifestyle, martial increased by 1, wasn't able to upgrade the trait. But I got the Book of Nubian Chivalry, an elegant tome containing the excellent advice and recommendations regarding chivalry and godliness. The cover is wood has been painted to display a repeating image of geometric shapes. Stop right there. Spark dominance for 1. And 2, this is the book to use in future. So that way you can get more of the experience. Slightly faster. You know, it's been hindered by other factors. But nevertheless. In the next episode, we'll be on our way back home to my realm. Gee, you got big. And then after that, once I return home, I will finally tell my brother to step down as regent. Let me run things around here, because there's clearly some power struggle and my perceived weakness, which I'll see to it to get it all done and such. So we'll see you on the next episode, but until then, so long for now.